news. Welcome back to Reaping Crafts. This is my mum.
Hi, I'm Glenn. This is my daughter.
Hi, I'm Joanne.
And we've been missing for quite a while.
Yeah. Yes, we have. I wasn't very well. And
At all.
And then I ended up having my gallbladder out. And now I am better. Yay!
Yay.
Hooray!
Yeah, she's back like this again now.
Yeah. I was very quiet before. I bet you enjoyed it, really.
It was very nice, yeah.
So I'm fully fighting fit again and feel a lot better, which is great news. And we've been wanting to get back into it, and now we're all kind of all healed and able to do.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it's the perfect time to get us back with
And show you something.
Yeah, and show you things.
Yeah, and then decide what we're going to do.
Yes, as a project for us all to have a look at or something.
Yeah.
So, Mum, you're going to do the first bit, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm first up. Right, so last time, I think it might have been last time, I can't remember now.
It was, the crumb
It was,
piecing.
Yeah, I was showing you crumb piecing, and sort of like I had a little washing line of fabric, and then you cut it up, you sew it together, you cut it up, you sew it together, iron it, whatever. You do a lot to it. And anyway, this is the end result.
I shall take that from you.
Oops. There you go. I've made that as a lap quilt because I couldn't make it any bigger. I put a fleece on it yesterday just to make it nice and cosy to go over my knees. It's a lap quilt. I sewed it together from. I didn't want to put a binding around it. So what I did is what you call bagged it out. So I sewed it. If I can find my end. I sewed the right. If this was a right side, you had both right sides together, and then you can't find me hole. Don't answer that one.
Mum,
There it is.
I mean, it's much funnier when my friends say that, not my mum. Carry on, Mum.
Anyway, so I sewed it obviously the wrong side, and then I just pulled it through that hole, and I've pushed it all out, so you can see.
I am going to give you a better shot of this in a minute.
Yeah. So you can see that when you first bag it out, it's all all over the place. But I did press one side so you can actually see what it looks like after it's pressed. And then obviously what you do with the end that you've left open, which is quite simple, is that you...
Once again, I'll show you this in a minute.
Is that you get your two ends together, push them in, and then you just sew. I do like a ladder stitch, so you can't see it that much. So you just put that in, and then you just sew them together to sew the hole up.
Okay. I'm going to move the camera.
Yeah.
And then you can go into a bit more detail so that people can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay? Wait one.
Right, so if you press it, obviously like I've done here, you can see it's flattened it out, but this isn't. So you'd have to iron this or press it first. But what you do is you just turn your edges in, because obviously you've got an edge there. Your edge goes all along, then obviously you've got your edge there, and they both go together, and you just, so your edges I should say, end up looking like that all along.
How far are you turning it in, Mum?
Well, it's the same as what you've ironed. You've sewn. Yes. So you can see there. So that will be the same as your hem that you've done on your when you've sewn it on.
What you've done previously.
Yeah.
Just going to move this camera back slightly. There you are.
Yeah. So what you've done there is obviously that's what you're doing, turn in. But as I say, it's a lot easier when it's flat like that and not curled up like that.
So what you're saying
then
is iron it first.
Press it first, and then you, because obviously you've got to just turn these in that size, put them together, and just sew them through, and then you won't know it's there.
So maybe you could show us ladder stitch, or
I could, but I'd have to press it first.
oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So I could go and press it while you do a bit of your thingy.
Yeah.
I've got
Okay.
a couple coming undone there. I could press that, and then you can do that, and then I can come back and
Yeah, because I mean, I think ladder stitch is a really handy stitch, isn't it? To learn.
So I can do that if you want me to.
I think that's a plan.
Okay, well, I'll leave you to
Just
it.
show the bagged out side, which is the side which isn't as. So we've got the iron side, haven't you?
That's it, yeah.
And then the other
And
side,
the others, as I say, it's just
rounded,
it's all,
isn't it?
all rounded.
Yeah,
all rounded.
yeah. No, that's much clearer. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
really see that now.
Yeah. So you got it's all just all over the place. So that's why you've got to, because obviously you're going to have to work on this to hold it into your backing. Otherwise, it just be apart. You know, this just is apart from your backing. So there's the top, and there's the back. So they go.
So how are
like
you
this.
going to join them together?
Well, I haven't quite decided yet what I'm going to do, but I will do some stitching in it. But what I think I might do is that right round the edges, once I've done all this and pressed it, is actually do a stitch. You know, just a run-in stitch. You know, hasn't got to be small. It can be a decent size with a nice bit of bright thread, and go all the way around so that holds that onto there.
Yeah.
So that holds the edges down, and then decide what I'm going to do in the middle, and that, you know, to hold it down. So
Well,
I
if
might
I
just
can
do
just-
some lines on things. I don't know.
No, that's yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If I can just say what an amazing. Should we just lay it out a bit so we can get a sense of how much work has gone into this? Just lay it out straight, and then you can pull it. I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, you can just pull it down. All those individual little.
And there's
just gonna-
some that get so small. So obviously you cut them, sew them, you cut them, you sew them. So a lot of them get very, very tiny. And obviously you can see there's your thing over there.
Oh, that sound's been good then.
Yeah, it's been underneath it.
We might have been a bit muffled then.
And a bit.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah, so you can see what the ends are like without pressing.
Yeah.
So,
Certainly more rounded, isn't it?
yeah.
I would call it bull nose
Bull nose. It's not a bit of wood.
instead of plain and straight.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, great. I mean, you worked really hard on that, Mum. And what's so lovely for me, I mean, this bit of fabric here,
Yes.
I remember that when I was a child. I mean, I'm only 21, so it's not that long ago. No. I mean, that's really old, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is old.
And
And that bit there.
oh yes,
That was a
you
shirt.
made a top out of that, didn't
shirt. I made a shirt. Yeah.
you? And I think what I love about this is just there's memories in it as well, isn't there?
Mm.
So, you know, you could make this into a memory. Oh yeah, that's another one I recognise. I mean, this could be done as a memory
It
kind of
could, yeah.
with cutting up little bits of material. But certainly for me and for you, more holds memories, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As you go through it. But I love this sort of stuff. I love. So, literally got that. I just love that. The way it's been cut off and cut into, and oh yeah, and that one down there. That's what I'd be looking for.
Yeah, a little one in there.
Yeah, but I love it. Absolutely love it, Mum. You must be so proud of yourself.
I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. Yeah, as I say, it's been a long process, quite a few hours. But
it hasn't taken you that long.
no.
Not really. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's taken months, but it's not taken, like if you're...
Yeah, not a year's worth of thingy, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, sorting out all the material and cutting it up and... I
Yeah.
mean, there are processes, aren't there, which...
Yes, yeah.
I love it.
But I say that I've got some bigger pieces, I've got smaller pieces. I start off with tiny little pieces sometimes. So,
So all your scraps, save your scraps.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You can always do something. And then it's like, if you look at Marion's World, I was watching her.
Yeah, I love Marion.
And she's done scraps. She's put all her scraps together. But sorry, I just kicked you.
Don't say sorry to me.
No, I just know. Saying sorry to them. I've just kicked you. She used bigger bits of fabric, and she's made yardage, and she's done 10 meters.
Wow.
Of this fabric she's been putting together. It's all the pieces she's had in her drawer and boxes and things. And she decided to put them together and make yardage so she can make a dress out of what she's made.
Yeah.
Together. And so but it's going to be all different colours, all different materials.
No.
Yeah, so...
Similar idea, but just on a bigger scale.
Bigger scale, that's right, yeah. Yeah.
Well done, Mum.
Oh,
I love it. So you're going to take that away
I'm going to take this away and give it a press this side.
And then you're going to come back and show us ladder stitch.
Then I'll show you ladder stitch. I'll go and get my stuff, cotton and that.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
I'll see you in a bit. So yes, Sheila's shed. What does that mean? So in my wisdom, 3 weeks ago, I decided to take on an allotment plot, which my husband and my mum and dad were a little bit concerned about. But I know my mental health certainly is buoyed up when I'm outside as well as crafting. So the plot was good. It was flat. It didn't have much stuff on it. So my husband's built me a shed and a greenhouse, and I've also made a channel which is called Grow It with Joe. And one of the things my husband stipulated was that I didn't do it alone. So I decided to open it to my girlfriends. And within that, I decided to call the plot Sheila's Shed. Now, you may be wondering why I'm talking like that. It's because I didn't want something called man shed or woman shed. Obviously not man shed. I meant, obviously you have things called man shed in Britain. I don't know whether people, so little organisations where men get together. So I didn't want to call it woman shed. So I decided to go the Australian term and call it Sheila's Shed. And it makes us chuckle every time we say it, because it's just a group of like-minded people coming together and having a bit of fun. Whether you come and grow, I've got a kettle down there and some, we'll go down and have a cuppa. So it's not necessarily you have to come and grow. It's just really a space where we can get together. So I decided to do some bunting yesterday. I tried to download some documents for letters, and it just proved too difficult because I couldn't get the size I wanted. So I free-handed all this. And I think you agree it looks okay. So what I did was I decided to put this, make it white to stand out. It's going to be outside, so I'm not really that bothered about it. But one of the things I did want to do was to put some interfacing on it, because that is it without interfacing, and it's very floppy. So I decided to put some interfacing on, which gives it a bit more rigidity. You'll laugh at this. So when I started it, I decided to fussy cut with Vilene. And now this stuff's like tissue paper, which is ridiculously thin. You can see how thin that is, which was a nightmare. And I thought, oh my goodness, because I'd already got a piece of fabric about this size with all the letters already written on it. And I'd done it with one of those friction pens. And so I forgot how it come off. So I went into Mum and said, oh, Mum, how does this come off? Because on this A, I still had some pen on it. And she said, oh, you've got to iron it off. I was like, oh, that's great. Went and ironed it. And luckily, it came off completely. Then I decided, instead of doing each individual one, I don't know why I didn't come up with this already, menopause brain, I then put this over the back of the white sheet. So it was, you know, so you had all your letters, put it like that. Then I had to take it over to the ironing board. I can hear you laughing already. And when I turned it round, to my great surprise, I had no letters left. So I had to write them all on again. But anyway, it was a lot quicker than fussy cutting viling. So just a word to the wise, if you're going to do something like that, definitely put it on a sheet of, you know, a square, a rectangle bit of material, whatever, and then write your stuff and then cut it out. So much easier. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but as I said, menopause brain. So what am I going to do with it? I've kind of worked out the size of the template for the bunting, and I think this size fits in well with the letters. Obviously white on white, can't see that very much. So what else did I decide to do? Now, me and Mum obviously had a chat about it, and I was going to make proper bunting. I've got some up there, I'll show you in a minute, that my friend made me, which is, you know, double-sided, bagged out like Mum's done, pull it back through, poke, you know. It's for an allotment, and I just haven't, anyway, I think I'd lose the will to live with all of that. So I've decided in my wisdom to use this material, which is, I remember we went to Dunelm Mill when they first opened up, and they used to sell really cheap material, and this is actually curtain fabric. And we grabbed a load of this. Well, I grabbed a load of this one because I really like the colours. And so I am going to cut out individual pennants, if you like, of that shape in this material. I'm then going to, I might use some, because obviously this is, I need to go and iron this again, because as you can see I didn't, because I was trying to save the friction pen, because I did guess that it might come off, but I didn't realise it was going to completely disappear. But anyway, so it's not as well as it could be. So I'll probably put some, you know, the fabric spray on, glue, and then glue it on, and then I'm going to sew on each letter with my Janome machine and just go around the letters to make them stand out a bit more. So that's for me to do this week to be able to put up. Yeah, these are the letters I did. You know, it wasn't that hard, but actually I just think it's going to make it more personal down there. But that's where I am with my stuff. So instead of doing it double, I'm going to do it with pinking shears. And what pinking shears do is obviously cuts it with all those lovely little V's, so you get a bit of detail with it as well, but it hopefully will stop it fraying as much. So it's not as if it's going to be perfect, but for down an allotment shed, I'm perfectly fine with that. And, you know, it might last 6 months, it might last a year, but that's completely fine. And I might do something nicer, posher, whatever, at a later date, but just to get our name down there for the plot, I thought I'd do that. And that sounds like Mum's coming back, which is great timing. So I'm going to stop there and maybe cut out some pennants while Mum's showing you ladder stitch. I think that would be a good idea. Right, see you in a bit.
Right, I've pressed it. So as I say, it's a bit better to sew than it was just now. Right, if you come in with your needle and get rid of your, because I've got a knot on the end. Not that you can see it, but I do have a knot on the end. So I'm coming into there, coming in the back there. So it's so my stitch there. So to start a ladder stitch, you pick up a bit from the front and pull it through, and you pick up a bit from the back and pull it through. And this is just repetitive. You go through the front. Obviously this has got quite a bit of bulk in it because of the different fabrics in it. And through the back, through the front, and it just, you continue on your merry way all along. When you pull it up, it disappears, and that's what it's called, a ladder stitch. So I'll just carry on a little bit more so you can see a bit more. Right, so we're going to go from the back, so into the front, through the top, and the back, just pick up the front, just continue along just a little bit further, and I'll show you about pulling it up again. So when you do it and you just pull it tight where your stitches,
And it's invisible, isn't it?
disappear. So that's what I like to do when I make bags or pouches and things, and when I do the lining, because obviously again that they've been pulled through, that's how I like to do the bases, so you can't see the where the hole was. I mean, you can sew it on the machine, but I prefer to do it by hand because I think you lose it. With a machine, you always see where you've been. So let's through the top. It's a very simple stitch once you get into the rhythm of it, and pull it, and it disappears.
I think it's excellent, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. So then that's what I should do to continue. Right, you don't want to see me do all that, but that's the ladder stitch. So, and that's how it looks when you've sewn it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say it's worth that pressing, because I wouldn't have been able to do that on the rolled edge.
No.
So you have to press it. But say if it had been a material on the other side, all you do is just sort of like pull them both, and they both turn in. But because this is the fleece on the back, you had to turn that in, and then do your fabric on the front, and that's why I've pinned it, because as I was pressing this, obviously I had to pin it and fold that in, because obviously it's not going to go like your fabric does.
No.
Because you pull the two bits together.
You're not going
like
to get that sort of edge.
and it just goes straight, because obviously they're both fabric and they're both stiff. So yeah. So anyway, that's the ladder stitch.
And would you say with the fleece you don't really want to iron on that?
I haven't. No, I didn't iron the fleece. No, I just ironed from the front. I'm not. There was instructions on it when I bought it, but I don't know about ironing. But I didn't want to put an iron on it, to be honest, just in case the iron stuck to it, and I had a nice iron's shape.
Because it was just a throw from the range. Wasn't
It was. This cost me £2.99, and I was quite chuffed with that, because it's what I wanted without paying too much for it. Obviously, all the fabric was all my scraps. So to be honest, besides the threads, what I've used quite a few bobbins, filled up quite a few bobbins. It hasn't really cost me much at all.
Yeah.
So £2.99 for that. I didn't think I was lost on that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's what ladder stitch is. So I will continue right across that and finish that off, and then I will obviously press the rest of the sides. So there's still two more sides to do. But yeah.
Shall we show you a completed lap quilt?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it in the pictures, and what I want actually is for it to go in the thumbnail.
Oh. Right.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So there you go. So next time obviously it will be pressed, fully pressed, and sewn up.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well done.
And then obviously I'm going to do as I said, probably a stitching right around the edge. Well, down here somewhere.
About half an inch
about
in.
half an inch in or so, like that. Go all the way around with a nice coloured thread, because obviously this
What
is
sort of thread would you use? Would you use a thicker?
I use a pearly for this, because it's thicker. And I think because of all the colours in there, I think I can use any colour. But I have got variegated, which probably would help anyway. And I just come down, and then I go all the way around the edge, and then that will hold the top down, so that won't keep rolling up, because it probably will if with use if you don't do anything. And then I'll decide what I'm doing with the rest of it.
Because you've talked about buttons. Maybe.
Yeah, we have talked about buttons. Yeah, I might do that. Yeah, I don't know, but I'll do that round the edge first, which will hold it steady, so the top's not going to keep coming over.
Why would we put? Why would you put stuff in the middle? Through the quilt, Mum. Just in case people don't understand.
Yeah, it's because it will come apart because I haven't
not come apart
as it just pulls. You got your back end and you got your front, and they're loose.
Mm.
So
if it was a traditional quilt, you would then quilt it.
It would have been quilted,
but because of it being the Crumb quilt, obviously there's no pattern to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, like a proper quilt, you would be quilted in a certain way of the shapes, like your diamond shape, any square shape, anything. But because obviously this is an all over the place bit, I've got to decide how I'm going to do it. Mm. So, and Joanne did suggest buttons, so just strategically placed buttons. Would hold it in. We'll hold this and the front together. Mm. So, but
I mean, traditional quiltings, they just used to put bits of, is it just bits of thread through, and then you would have it loose on one side.
Yeah, you can do
Marion's done it like that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Well,
yeah, you can do that. Just thread it through with the fabric, the thread. Mm. But yeah, I haven't just. That's the only thing I haven't decided on is how to put it to these two together, to fit it together so it doesn't come apart. But no, but that's what I should do first, around the edge with a pearly thread, so that will hold this from rolling, and then work out the rest later. But I mean that's no big deal. It's not a rush job.
No.
And also I could applique it. I could put applique on the top, but then that will cover up what I've done. So that's another thing.
I think the pattern is the material, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So if I put stuff on the top, obviously I'm going to lose what I've got. So
yeah.
Yeah. There's different things it's going through my head, but it's just how I do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it looks fantastic.
Thank you very much.
I'm very proud of you for
thank you. Yeah.
doing that for you. Which I think is a massive achievement.
Yeah. No, I am, to be honest, really chuffed with it. So
well done, Mum.
Oh, thank you.
So we were just thinking about what to do, and I got out this scissor
keeper
that we made ages ago, didn't we?
We did make them.
And here it is. Yeah, Mum, I'll pan out a little bit and you can...
There it is.
There it is.
If I move that out of the way, because you don't want to see that colour underneath. But yeah, so there it is. So your scissors fit in there.
And it's simple to make, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember when we made them, crikey. I mean, lots of people have made these, to be fair. You know, we're not
inventing the wheel.
We're not
here.
inventing it, no. A lot of people have done these.
But if you're just starting out, you know, pick a nice fabric, and obviously I like cats and animals and sewing.
Yeah, there's got sewing all over it, the machine and everything, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love
sewing,
that.
I love sewing, yeah, there you go, see, fabric and thread.
Yeah, so I really like that. So
yeah.
That's an idea. Another thing I was thinking of, because I was just looking through this book that you lent me, Mum, was because when I'm down the allotment,
Oh, right, yeah, too late then.
was to maybe make a tool apron of some kind. I'm not saying this one in particular, but that kind of thing. So I've got
You've got your pockets there.
my pockets.
And obviously the elastic which just holds them in.
Yeah, because sometimes I just wear leggings, you know, and I don't always have pockets. So I think that's a handy thing to have. Mm-hmm. So that could be something that I have a look at this week.
Yeah, that's webbing, because of course I just read it's webbing.
Yeah, and this is jean material, because obviously you want something which is functional, and I've got
sturdy.
I've got my husband's old jeans, so I could use that. But anyway, there's a couple of things there that were.
Yeah.
But if you want to do this, then if you put it in the comments, and we can get on with that. I think that would be a nice project.
Just got to find the pattern. I had the pattern for that somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll just finish there for the minute. So here we are, back again.
Back again.
I like that. I love that quilt that you've done.
Yeah.
And Mum, I mean, you had a bit of a blip with your mojo, didn't you? Really,
I did. Yeah.
And about it, and I said, I just think you need to make some stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've gone and done it.
Yeah. So I've got in the craft room on the machine. So
that's really kept you motivated, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, and it's done my back in as well. So between the two of them, every time I do a lot of that, my back goes. So
yeah, but let's be honest, you're in there blooming hours. I mean, I would just do a bit, and then obviously I'd get bored because
but it takes that time, because I say by the time you've sewn a bit, you get this long strip, and then you've got to cut them up, which is what that comes in handy for, your little cutter.
Oh yeah, this is Mum bought me one of these. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, a lot of people are using them now. So when you've got if you're doing a lot of sewing and you've got them all pieced together, you just go along and you just get it like that, and just go along the blade, because there's a blade in there.
What kind of blade is it?
It's the blade, a rotary cutter blade.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's a 45mm
Rotary cutter
blade.
So you could even use your old one.
You can use your old ones in there, because at the end of the day, when you're cutting fabric, they go blunt because obviously you're cutting through fabric. But if you're only cutting through fine thread, they cut it. So.
Yeah, so you can basically see the blade at points of where the petals are. And Mum said, how are you getting on with it? I haven't been doing any sewing, so yeah, but you've used it loads, haven't you?
I have used it loads. It's very good. Getting the scissors out and cutting those bits apart, you just go like this, and you can.
Do you always lose your scissors when you're machining? I do.
Yeah.
It drives me mad. I've put blue tack on my machine before, and then I forget to put it on the blue tack. So yeah.
And another thing I lose regularly is the unpicker.
Oh. Yeah, the backward stitcher.
The backward stitcher, yeah. You go to try and find that, and think, well, it was there a minute ago.
I've got about 50 of them. Well, anyway, we've got some ideas for maybe a next video, so that would be good. If you can maybe put it in the comment whether you like that, or if there's something else you would like to do, that would be great. we're just really glad to be back again, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Firing on all cylinders. Well, as many as we've got.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll put a link in the description for Grow It with Joe, which is my other channel I've just started. Me just mucking around and having a bit of fun in the allotment, and you can have a look at the plot. And you've come down and seen it, haven't you?
I have seen it, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Nice and peaceful, isn't it, Mum?
It was sitting there nice,
yeah. So it's so we've got that channel as well. But most importantly, I'm just glad that we're back and doing this together. So So do all the usuals, like, subscribe. We have a lot of people watching but don't subscribe, and obviously that helps us as a channel to be able to make these videos. So if you are able to subscribe, it is completely free to do, then please do. And
if you don't like us, you just unsubscribe.
It's always, we have had that. I think because they're like, where are they? But I think we've got 547 subscribers now.
Oh, that's good.
Which is great, you know. And actually, the channel's just ticking along, but obviously more content is needed.
Yeah, so it is. But as I say, to be fair, you weren't well, and to be honest, she wasn't well. So it was just something we just couldn't do. So we had to get her through Christmas, and obviously then she had that operation. So yeah.
It was interesting.
It was,
yeah. And but here we are. So thank you to everybody who do watch. Thank you for everybody who subscribe. Thank you for your lovely comments as well. And we're looking forward to getting back to it.
And so deciding what we're going to do, because obviously most of my stuff is slow stitch stuff. So not necessarily like the quilt there. Sort of, I do the slow stitch. So it's sort of perhaps, because that sort of, I got a bit thingy with that as well. My brain went, and I just
your mojo, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I just couldn't put things together, get things sorted out. So so I just got to get back into that as well. Which obviously coming back on here, it probably helped.
Yeah, well, it certainly helped me as well to get my arse in gear.
Bleep.
Well, it's not for kids, so I always put it as not for kids, just in case there's a little bleep in it. But yeah, I definitely need to get my backside in order and get back to it. So thank you as always, and we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah, and thanks for all your comments that you have given us, which we have been very pleased about. That's lovely. So.
It always touches us, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
We get a bit emotional because we just think, oh my goodness, people are actually watching us.
Yeah. So thank you if you do. Comment is lovely.
Yeah,
you
do.
You do.
She
never leaves me alone.
No.
So she's back to normal now. It was lovely when she was quiet. So.
On that
note,
we shall leave you.
Shall leave you.
Take care everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.